If you work for a Catholic parish and you posted one Instagram video every day for a year, your parish would never have to worry about money again. I know, it's a crazy claim, but it's true. In this video, I'll explain how and why. If you don't know, my name is Joe Jarrell. I built a fitness company for Catholic men in 30 months and got it to 7 figures. And so I don't know much, but I do know how to market to Catholic men and basically Catholics in general. So I'm gonna share some of those tactics with you today. So essentially, social media is a tool we can use to reach people and to use that reach to nurture those people and eventually get them to do things if we want them to. Sign up for an email list or attend a bake sale or even donate and give to the church. So that's what I would call a funnel. I'm going to teach that funnel to you today. Maybe funnel is not the best word in a nonprofit, but you get the idea. So in general, there's 3 main parts of what we're doing here. So first we reach people with social media. And then we nurture people with social media. And then we convert people with social media. Convert, it's a marketing term. It doesn't mean we're bringing them to Christ, although hopefully this is getting them closer with him. Convert just means they complied with the thing we asked them to do. During the offertory, if 20% of the people in the pews donated in the collection baskets, you had a 20% conversion. That's what that means. All right, so let's break this down. I'm gonna go step by step. I'll explain how social media can basically make your parish financially stable. And so that way you don't have to worry about cash and you can worry about your ministry. That's what we want. All right, so let's start with reach. You can reach people by posting on social media. Here's why. Social media platforms have a unique way on how they spread the videos to people. For example, if you were to post a reel on Facebook or Instagram, it'll go to about 100 people. The first 50 would be people that know you, people that already follow your account. Then the other 50 are gonna be total strangers, generally. Based on how the people that know you and the people that are strangers react to the video, the platform will get a sense of how good the video is, how engaging, and it'll open up the next gate so more people can view the video. So for example, a viral video means that a lot of people in that first amount really liked it. So they opened up the second gate, which went to more people that know you and more strangers. And they liked it a lot. So then it opened up the third gate and the fourth, and that's kind of how social media works. So the key thing here is every time you post a video, it goes to strangers. So that's like the foundational way of how you can reach people. Why do we have to reach people? Well, the goal is this first step is to just get people to see you, to be like, oh, these people exist. Now your parishioners obviously know, but the step 2 is really important that they know you exist on social media. So that's why we want to reach them on social media. Okay, that's number 1. Cool. So the first thing when it comes to reaching people is Reels on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, there's another tool we can use to reach people. Here's what it is. In general, we don't want to advertise to go to church. That's kind of tacky, but advertising can be useful. We use advertising in all sorts of things. In general, advertising means to make known. So what we can do is we can advertise on social media, but not to go to church, but to get people to follow the church page, the parish page, whether that's on Instagram or Facebook. So another way to say it is local advertising. So what we can do is we can make a post that says, hey, all the Catholics in XYZ County, come follow your local Catholic parish Instagram page where we'll be posting a bunch of free, helpful spiritual content. What that's gonna do is you post it and then you run that as an advertisement. Basically, you pay money for that to go to all the people in your area. This is super, super helpful on social media, and here's why. In traditional advertising, you can think of like a billboard, for example. It's kind of like a shotgun. It's like spray and pray. A bunch of people are gonna see it. And then there's like digital marketing, which is like TV or radio. And that's a bit more focused. If the right people are listening to the network, there's a good chance that they'll be part of your ideal audience that you want to hear the advertisement. So more like a rifle, maybe a little more focused. But then there's social media advertising. And this is like a sniper. Here's why. When you go on a social media platform, the number one thing that platform wants you to do is not exit out of the app. If you go on TikTok, TikTok's number one goal is to get you to not exit out of TikTok, which means they have to be very careful with the type of content they show you. Because if they show you content you find boring, you're gonna exit out of the app. They want you on the app, by the way, because the more time you spend on the platform, the more time you'll spend looking at advertisements, and that means they can get more ad revenue. It's all about money. So that means when there is an advertisement, they're only gonna show it to people who really wanna see it already, so that nobody gets bored and exits out. So it's like a sniper. Only people that are interested in Catholic content in the area are gonna see the advertisement. Perfect. You're gonna round up all the parishioners and even some Catholics that might not be parishioners follow the page. Okay, so now we've reached people. The next step is to nurture the people that are following the page. Now, nurturing is very important. It basically means to get someone to know, like, and trust you. Just as a general rule of thumb, people only give money to people they know, like, and trust. That includes nonprofits, that includes churches. Now, they already trust you because you're Catholic, but they might not know you, they might not even like the pastor. That all plays a role in their donations. Maybe not spiritually, everyone should tithe and everyone should give, but psychologically, what makes people give is when they know, like, and trust the person or the organization. So there's 3 ways we can nurture our audience on social media. The first way is with more content. In the regular business world, people buy from companies on average after seeing them 7 times. So it takes time for people to kind of get used to a business or get used to an organization before they give them money. Just imagine, let's take an example of Word on Fire, for example. They produce so much content. In fact, Bishop Barron gets about 30 million views every month. So we're constantly getting value, spiritual guidance, free books. The Catholicism series is on YouTube. Free interviews. He just interviewed Amy Comey Barrett the other day. So we get tons of content, and that makes us know Bishop Barron, like Bishop Barron, and trust Bishop Barron more. Then when they do an advertisement for the Word on Fire Bible, we're more likely to buy it. So constantly producing content, producing posts is how you're gonna nurture them primarily. The second thing we're gonna do is we're going to have stories and go live. So stories on Facebook and Instagram are kind of a unique way to produce content. They disappear in 24 hours. And so there's a scarcity element to them. People really like watching stories because it typically is a glimpse into the person's everyday life. For example, if the parish posts on their story, they can post about what's going on in the parish, updates, projects they're working on, and people can kind of see day to day what's going on. This nurtures people so much. We'll keep using examples in the Catholic world. Let's say we could watch Father Mike Schmidt's Instagram stories every day, and we could see him working out, and then doing a studio session, and then interviewing someone famous, and then maybe getting ready for Mass. If we did that for several weeks, we'd feel so connected to Father Mike because we're seeing his day. So stories are very important. The other thing that I kind of combine with stories is going live. So one of the features of Facebook and Instagram is that you can go live on the platform. And this is one of the best ways to connect with your audience because it's as close to real conversation as you can get. If you think about it, any type of content has to go through like an editing process and a proofing process, and then the perfect video is pushed out. But going live doesn't have that. It's just you completely live streaming to your audience, and they can connect with you, they can message you, you can have conversations with people. That makes people connect with you way quicker and nurtures your audience significantly. So stories and going live is the second way to nurture. And then the final way is online community. So this is a thing that I think a lot of parishes are missing, but it's one they should definitely implement. So you can create an entire community online and get people that are only part of the parish to be in that community. Now, this is different than like a group chat or an email list. In fact, online community typically has 3 pieces. It has the community itself, where people can post and connect with other parishioners. It has group calls because people want to feel a sense of community. So group Bible studies, group rosaries. And then the third thing is resources to help them grow. Anyone that's part of a community wants to grow. You want psychologically the idea to be that when you're part of a tribe, you're growing in that tribe rather than being a lone wolf. Now, as of today in 2026, there's 2 main platforms to have an online community: Facebook groups and School. They each have their perks. Facebook groups is free. People know what Facebook is, but it's not really conducive to group calls or providing resources. School, on the other hand, is I think $99 a month. However, it's great for online community. It's made for that. And it's super easy to host group calls straight from your phone and have resources directly given to the members. All right, so that's how you nurture. The last step is to convert the audience. In other words, to ask the audience. All right, so let's think about what we've done so far. We've reached a bunch of people. We've been posting, let's say, for a year, a bunch of social media posts, reels. They've reached a bunch of people. You've ran a follower ad to get everyone to follow the parish in the community. You've been going on your stories. You've been going live. You have a vibrant online community for the parish. Everyone is super engaged. Now, if we ask someone to give to help support the ministry, you're going to see disproportionate returns. Let me explain why. There's a rule in human nature called the rule of reciprocity. People feel a sense of obligation to return good deeds that were done for them. If you're a priest listening to this, I'm sure you've been to Rome. You know that when you wander by the Colosseum or the Spanish Steps, there's those guys, at least there were when I was there, that were selling trinkets. Not really selling. If you wander close to them, they hand you a trinket and then you're like, no, thank you. And you try to give it back and they go, no, 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 it's my gift to you. But you don't want the stupid trinket. So you're kind of stuck there. But why are you stuck there? Why don't you just walk away with the trinket? Because of the rule of reciprocity. You feel this weird sense that you don't want to walk away without giving something back. Now, if you truly do walk away, they will hound you until you give it back. So there's kind of of strings attached, but it highlights the central concept, which is there's a psychological need to repay good deeds. So if we have been giving value in our social media content to the parishioners for a year and just constantly helping them with our content, they will feel a sense of obligation to return the favor when we ask. Maybe not consciously, but psychologically, that's what results in disproportionate returns. And I'm not the first one to figure this out. This is exactly what Word on Fire, and this is exactly what Ascension does to grow. If you think about it, the two largest Catholic companies, well, Word on Fire is a nonprofit, but you get the idea, produce tons of free stuff that helps us. And then when they ask, they get disproportionate returns. So if there's one central concept I want to convey here, it's that by producing so much content that's helpful, not meme content or skits or funny stuff, content where you're solving a problem for someone, you're giving spiritual guidance. Doing that in mass, at volume, creates disproportionate returns when you finally do ask. Because it's not pushy. You gave them so much, then when you ask, they're like, yeah, these guys helped me so much, I'm happy to give. An extreme example is like Ascension. Like Bible in a Year is free. That's crazy. All their books are free, their podcasts. So that's like an example of where they give so much for free that when they do ask for like the Ascension Catechism, it skyrockets in sales. On the completely other end would be someone like a door-to-door salesman. So they give nothing and they only ask. And look at how people treat them. People get so frustrated with door-to-door salesmen because they didn't give. They feel no sense of obligation to repay a good deed. We want to be close to Ascension. So the main way we're going to ask is on our stories. All we're going to do is post on our stories and we're going to say, hey, we're doing XYZ project for the ministry. Is this something you'd like to help support us with? And what you do is you include a little poll on there for people to tap yes or no. Here's the cool thing about Facebook and Instagram. You can message everyone who votes on a poll. So when all the people vote yes, all you have to do is direct message them, thank them for their interest in donating, introduce yourself, and then share the donation link. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. It's super straightforward and you're not salesy at all because you gave so much with no strings attached beforehand. Now, the one thing I would recommend is when they do vote yes, make sure you have a conversation with them. The main reason being people don't want to just have like a donation link sent to them. Be like, hey, thank you. Like, what's your name? My name's Joe. Like, I really appreciate you wanting to donate to the parish. Have a conversation and be like, yeah, well, here's the donation link. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Not only is this a way for you to get donations and like increase the giving from your parishioners, but it also lets you reach people outside of the parish who want to give. Here's the thing. I've donated to Catholic parishes that I'm not a part of just because I like what the pastor's doing, because you don't have to be part of a parish to donate. And if you're reaching so many people and you invite them to give for a project you're doing at the ministry, anyone can respond yes. And that is how you can change your parish from slashing projects to being able to have so much financial stability that you don't have to worry about it anymore and you can just focus on ministry. That's my ultimate goal. So to kind of recap, there's two main pillars here that social media helps with. Number one, it allows you to give so much value up front with no strings attached that skyrockets the goodwill that the viewers feel towards you. That way, when you ask in the future, it gives you disproportionate returns for the ask. The second thing, more kind of spiritual, is just this allows you to reach so many more people with your ministry. If you're a priest, you feel pastoral, you want to help people, you want to give spiritual guidance, this allows you to reach millions of people. So give this a try if you have the time. I think it's super helpful for parishes and I highly recommend it. Now, if you're interested in something like this, but you don't feel like you do have the time or the resources or the knowledge to build a system like this for the parish, I have a company that does this for parishes. I have a company that does this for Catholic parishes. We install a social media system inside of the parish, completely done for you. You don't have to worry about a thing. So if you're interested in that, go check out chapellaunch.com. The link is in the bio and book a call and I'll see if I can help. Either way, thank you so much. And I hope this brings you more donations, more vocations in your parish and many more sacraments for your parishioners. Thank you so much. God bless.